Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, well-endowed manga editors, hot pink Porsches, tons of automobile facts, and manga news. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 527. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zen, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or another. Remember to hit that, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and click on that bell for notifications so when you hear about our next episode. So with that in mind, let's actually get to the episode at hand, because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that only the Wheel of Manga, and it did tend to be reviewing a pretty unique manga, a cool manga, a manga that was written by someone really awesome. So let's get to it. So this was written by Kia Asamiya. Now, Kia Asamiya was the creator of Besides Silent Mobius, Steam Detectives, Corresponder Yui, personal favorite Martian successor Nadesco, and worked on the Star Wars manga series. So this guy has had a very prolific life and has created some of the greatest works out there. His art style is very unique and simple and great. And this was published by Shueisha and brought over to the United States by Lead Publishing. This is a digital release, so you can find it at Manga Planet. So if you want to read this series, it's on Manga Planet. And it is a unique series that has a lot of volumes. Let's get to it, because this was actually published in Weekly Playboy magazine. Not to be confused with Playboy, the pornographic magazine. We're talking about Weekly Playboy, the manga magazine, which has a lot of seinen series that are pretty out there. The original run for this was 2003 to 2012. Then there was a sequel series that came out 2013 to 2015. Then another sequel series in 2018. So this is very prolific and very popular amongst real, actual realtors. They use this product and these characters for their actual product, but we'll get to that in a moment. There are 24 volumes in the original series. This is a seinen series that is a comedy, ecchi, mature sports manga that's actually about car life and car racing. And the original name for this was Kanojo no Carrera, or it is known in English simply as My Favorite Carrera. And this is a pretty different series and unique series which deals with car life and dealing with when you get a new car and learning about it and getting into the car culture in general. Our main character is Reina Todoroki, and Reina is dealing with a weird issue. She just got a new car, and she has no idea how to drive it, so she is learning how to drive a really awesome car. What type of car are we talking about? We're talking about a hot pink Porsche. See, what happened with Reina is that her dad, when he passed away, he left his 3 children 3 keys. Each one of them got a different key. The oldest, her older brother, received a key to the mansion that they own because they are well-to-do. So the eldest brother and his family are going to move into this wonderful mansion. Then the middle child, her other older brother, received a key to the yacht. The yacht is because he's learning how to be a boatsman, and this is how he's going to be a sailor and sail around the world. And Reina, unfortunately or fortunately, is given a key that she was supposed to get when she was 18 years old. She's currently 22, so it has been 4 years since she was supposed to get this. And this is her graduation present that her father bought her. And what did he buy her? He bought her a brand new hot pink Porsche that has been sitting there for 5 years. So it is pristine. Hasn't been washed, hasn't been cleaned at all, but it looks beautiful and amazing. And because she now owns a Porsche, she's like, okay, I can get rid of my other car, which is a little Toyota. But her Toyota is an automatic, and this is a stick shift. So she has to learn how to drive and how to experience the awesomeness that is driving in a Porsche. So it is all about her dealing with learning how to maintain, fix, and understand about this really cool car. And dealing with her clients who are all mangaka, who are all crazy. And the more she learns about the car world, the more she gets into it and the more fun it becomes for her as she's able to take care of her Porokun, as she calls her Carrera. Now, Carrera is a very nice car. It is kind of classic. And this manga also deals with a lot of the history behind the cars as well, because I didn't know before I read this that the original guy who created Porsche was a Nazi and was hired specifically by Adolf Hitler to create a car. Then after he went to prison because he was a Nazi supporter, his son took over the company and made it the big conglomerate what it is. And this deals with stuff that a lot of, if you've ever owned a car, you deal with, like the fact that you have to maintain it. People could sideswipe you. Your battery will die occasionally. If you've ever maintained a car, you totally will get this series as well. Also, because Reina is a kind of busty girl, there's a lot of fan service in this where they make comments about her boobs. Some people say, you can't drive because your tits are too big. And it kind of is a little insulting, but this series is a lot of fun to deal with. And it deals with some other characters as well, because it's not just about Reina, but her other associates as well. Like she has two manga authors who she has to deal with who are both out of their minds. First off, you have Kirishimi Poruko. Now, Kirishimi is nuts because she drives a Ferrari 360 Modena, and she's obsessed with Ferraris. And she thinks it's either a Ferrari or not a Ferrari. And if it's not a Ferrari, get out of the way because Ferraris are the world. Italy is better than Germany. I'm going to kick ass. And she's a speed freak. And when they first meet, they get into a little altercation before they learn that Reina is her new editor. And it becomes this is my sworn enemy. I'm going to defeat you even though it goes horribly wrong every single time. Like, she ends up crashing her car like 5 times before things get interesting. Then you have Iwasa Hajime. He is a manga author who has a crush on Reina, and he purchased a Porsche Boxster. And he's like, she'll like my Porsche and she'll want to go out with me. And then he sees she has a Porsche. He's like, oh my God, you have the most awesome car ever. You have to join our Porsche club. And several other people do show up who are all different and unique and all have different cars. And this gets into the love of the cars, the history of cars, and there is a lot going on. And I've got to admit, it is very, very fun if you're a car nut. If you're not a car nut, you'll still find it engaging and fun because it is informative, it is crazy, and there's a lot to admire and a lot going on. And I've got to admit, it's one of those ones where you want to know more about what is going on in this series and how fast it's going to go and what's going to happen to Reina, because at one point, her cousin shows up and says, you're not good at that car, so you are going to learn how to drive, and if you don't in 2 months, I'm going to take the car from you. And it becomes this whole giant endeavor for her to learn how to drive her car and not have an accident and be the best she can be. And that's what this manga is about. There's more to it than that, but I'm just going to say, this is what the manga is, and it is a truly memorable manga that is, at first, you're like, this seems weird. But it's pretty addictive. I've got to admit, it's pretty addictive to read the story. And it seems like it's very repetitive. Also, a running joke is at the end of every chapter, you have the cost that she has to pay. Either it's gas and tolls, or it's her having to pay for damages. Or at one point, one of her associates, who's a person who's completely normal, then when she gets behind the wheel of a Dodge Viper, she goes crazy and ends up destroying the bumper of her car. And she's like, okay, yes, I'd pay for this and this, but the rest of the damages were paid for by that crazy lady. And that's what this manga is. And I know I'm gushing a lot about it, but it is a pretty fun story that a lot happens to it. And it makes you want to know more. It really does, about cars in general. And I'm someone who's driven several different type of cars in my life. I've driven everything from a Mercury to a Ford to a Toyota, and I'm currently rocking a Nissan. And I gotta say, it's fun to know more and learn about car maintenance and all these other little things about cars. So maybe it's just the guy in me, I don't know, but it's cool. It's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend this one if you are into the car culture. And I love the fact that our main character, she is someone who has agency of herself. She's not someone who is all just like, I'm a damsel in distress. Yes, there's something she can't do, but she learns how to do it. She learns how to change her own oil. She learns how to race. She learns how to be more confident as she's driving, and I like that we have this character progression of this character. It does take a while. It takes about 3 volumes for her to start stepping up on her own, but it is really a great series. Now, some of the negatives. One, a lot of fan service, and if you're not into that, you're not going to be into this. There's some really weird moments that are like, why would you throw that in there? Oh, fan service. But for the most part, it is a great series, and some people don't like Kia Asamiya's art style. They think it's a little bit weird, a little crass. It's a little too circular and angular at the same time. I know that makes no sense, but that's how it goes. So for those reasons, I have to give this our second highest rating of Borrow from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. It is really good. It is inventive. It is engaging, and it is addictive. The only thing is that you have the art style issues, you have the fan service issues, and more importantly than that, there is no physical release. This is released on Manga Planet and by Lead Publishing. You're not going to have an actual physical release for this. I would love to have a physical release, but that's not going to happen. So you just got to read it through that way. And for those of you who think you want to read it pirating, do not do that. Kia Asamiya is an awesome mangaka. Support his work any way you can. And that's my feelings. Now, if you agree or disagree, you can email me personally at Zan, that's XAN, @Spiraken.com, or you can tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this or didn't enjoy this manga, or if you never read it, or if you want to read it now that you can. And now let's get to the random question of the day, shall we? Because I'm actually going to try something different with our random question. So our random question for the day is going to be, have you ever driven a Porsche or Lamborghini? Let me know your thoughts. Have you done it before? Honestly, the first time I rode in a Porsche was several years ago, and it was an amazing ride. I've never ridden in a Lamborghini or Ferrari, though, and that is on my goals of things to do. So let me know. If it's a cool story, I'll actually read it on air. But leave it in the comments down below, or email me, Zan, XAN, @Spiraken.com. Let me know your thoughts. So with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week. And we've got a ton of them because a lot came out this week. So let us go to that right now. And let's start with the first one, which is going to be one which is actually very relaxed if you've ever played the video game. Yes, we're talking about Animal Crossing, Volume 5 of New Horizon. Next, we have Call of the Night, Volume 13, Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 19, Gleipnir, Volume 13, Helk, Volume 5, J.K. Haru is a Sex Worker in Another World, the Manga, Volume 6, Kiriguru Kill Me, Volume 5, Kuma 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 Bear, the Light Novel, Volume 15, Ladies on Top, Volume 4, Life with an Ordinary Guy Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout, Volume 1, Mao, Volume 13, Mashal, Magic and Muscle, Volume 13, Pokemon Adventures XY, Volume 6, School Zone Girls, Volume 5, Soloist in a Cage, Volume 2, the next one I'm completely shocked at, Star Wars The Mandalorian, the manga, Volume 1. If you want your Grogu fix, this is now in manga form. Then we have The Country Without Humans, Volume 4, The Duke of Death and His Maid, Volume 8, very excited for this one, The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom, Volume 3, Welcome Back Alice, Volume 5, Witch Hat Atelier, Volume 11, Wolf Girl and Black Prince, Volume 3, World Peace, Volume 3, Yakuza Lovers, Volume 10, and last and certainly not least, we have Yakuza Reincarnation, Volume 7. So we have tons of titles this week. They're all over the place. Some are really cool, some are just kind of meh. But for me, here are my top 5 manga releases for this week, because the ones I was most excited about. And yes, I know I said that I was excited about Duke of Death, but Duke of Death is far in the series, and if you don't like the series, you're not going to like it. But here are the ones I'm most excited about right now. First off, we've got Call of the Night, Volume 13. Call of the Night has been a lot of fun to read, and I can't wait to see where they go next. Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 19. It's a romantic series that just gets me in that kind of happy spot. We have Soloist in a Cage, Volume 2. This series I'm hearing a lot of buzz about. Can't wait to read it. Star Wars The Mandalorian, the manga, is something I'd never expected, but it's a Star Wars manga, so I gotta pick it up. And then World Peace, Volume 3. This series started out exceptionally well, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. So these are the mangas that I'm excited about. What about you? Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken your thoughts. So with that in mind, let's actually get to it, shall we? Because first off, beforehand, thank all of you who are watching or listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're all awesome and amazing. Every email I get, every comment I get, every like and every subscription gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast, and I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing this so an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses and large print manga. So thank you. If you do like what you hear, remember to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and then click on that bell for notifications to find out when we get release a new manga. And if you'd like to help us create more fun content for you to enjoy, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken. Help us create more fun content for you to enjoy. We've got 4 tiers with tons of new things. I'll get to that in a moment. But with that in mind, let's actually get to the part that most of you enjoy. And we're talking about that one, that only. The Wheel of Manga! Except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? Well, the Wheel of Manga is Wheel of Fortune. And it's pretty cool because there's lots of stuff on it. So let's get to it. Because the Wheel of Manga is 10 slots on, and what I've done is I've sent a manga tile to each of the 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's what we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 528. There's tons of things on here. We have a Pareiranman, 100 Girls Who Really, Really, Really Like You, which had Atelier. We've got Tsubasa Cho, Lonely Planet, Toge Oni. Tons of really cool stuff, which is going to be pretty awesome. So with that in mind, let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, shall we? Toge Oni. Cool. I've heard good things about this, and it actually looks really cool. It looks very Mushishi and To Your Eternity-esque. But let's see how it goes. So I guess that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And keep reading.